Yap, yap, blah, blah, dribble, dribble, dribble.
Sup, boys and girls, men and women, and they thems. Happy Pride Month. They call me Deadman, and today we got a strange one to talk about. See, in the midst of a handful of requests and reviews and fight night recommendations that I'm currently working on, trust me, let me cook. Let's just take a minute to talk about, well, this.
Oi, mate, lend a hand, would ya?
I'll do it.
Unicorn Warriors Eternal is a fantasy drama steampunk action adventure television series created by my GOAT, my king, my glorious king, Jindy Tartakovsky.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
The man who is famous for other well-renowned cartoons, started like Cartoon Network and on Adult Swim. You might know him, such as Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack, Star Wars Clone Wars, not the Clone Wars, and my beloved Primal. Now, I don't know how many of y'all watch my Primal review, but y'all know Primal resonated with my very spirit. I felt it in my bones. Tartakovsky is also responsible for the Hotel Transylvania series and is currently working on 2 adult animated films from that same studio. So, be on the lookout for that. Hype train don't stop for nobody. The premise of this particular one of Tartakovsky's works is that... Fuck, man, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I really... See, a long time ago, 4 warriors appeared to stop evil. Them being a blue elf man, an ethereal monk in a permanent state of psychosis, a funny round robot man, and a cross between the infinite void that consumes us all and daddy issues, all set out on a journey. And they all fucking died. Nah, I'm kidding. They pretty much succeed. But this ain't the kind of evil that stays down for very long. So Merlin... Yes, Merlin decided the Earth would always need this particular band of heroes at some point to save it. So he curses them all with reincarnation, doomed to come back and save the day on repeat for all eternity. Now, why do I call this a curse? Because it's not as simple as just going into like a deep slumber and then waking up again when it's time to brawl. No. That'd be too easy. See, when evil shows its ugly head again, 3 random people somewhere in London just get their entire lives erased. Like dead ass. Imagine one day you're just chilling, getting ready for work, and then bam, your body's no longer yours. You're just not you anymore. They took your shit. And you might get it back when the deed is done, and that's if you're lucky. That's if they don't break it, or if they choose not to, if they choose just not give it back to you. It's really crazy. These so-called heroes have been straight up hijacking random people's bodies for centuries now. And why do I call it random? Because there is a secret cult of worshippers of these heroes. The cult in question has people in it who are 100% down getting their bodies snatched. Hell, if anything, they believe it's their sole reason they were being born. They've trained and studied for this their entire lives. And does it matter? Does Merlin or whatever choice picks them? No, nah. It's just like, go for the boy. Get that girl that just wants to get married, probably. Pretty much anyone except the 2 who want it, not them. Fucking hell, man, it's just not fair. I just don't get it. Speaking of the bride to never be, that's a good way to segue into our main character, Emma, who is the involuntarily next up. Like, she was, against her will, made to be the new Melinda. And even then they did it wrong. As unfair and low-key horrid as Dungeons and Body Snatchers already was, this time they're you're like along for the ride. You don't really have that much of a choice in the matter, but they didn't even snatch your body. Somehow this is worse. I don't even know how to explain it. And whether she likes it or not, you're a part of the team now. Say goodbye to your Bridgerton-ass husband, your The Great-ass wedding, and your 3rd British TV reference-ass life. Now you're goth, have crazy powers, and are being heavily gaslit and pursued by a blue elf you've never met, who is demanding even that you embrace him. Hell, did she even know elves were a thing before this? Like, did the world know this shit was happening? Jesus Christ. Now, folks, I don't want to avoid giving credit where credit is beyond due. As far as animation, this show can be kind of breathtaking at times. Not many shots are too dynamic or that visually spectacular, but when it takes a minute to go theatrical with the monsters and the powers, I gotta say it is sort of impressive sometimes. Another kind of high note, the uniqueness and camaraderie between the party members is probably the best part of the show. See, I'm gonna spoil this a little bit, but eventually Emma's ex-fiance, Sir Gareth of Hastings, or whatever the fuck his name is, ends up turning into a werewolf. Simply because he refuses to give up on loving her, no matter how ridiculously complex of a situation this is. But like I was saying, the rivalry between Blue Boy and the Furry honestly reminds me of Sanji and Zoro, or even more obscure Donatello and Casey Jones. Like, they're both ready to kill and be killed over the same girl who Loki doesn't even really want either of them. And, like, can you blame her? Reality as a unit was flipped upside down yesterday. Who the red line fuck cares about love right now? God damn it, fuck out of here. Now, folks, before we get to our final verdict, let's wrap this up with my biggest gripe with this tune. Between the needlessly convoluted plot, the decent enough animation, and the little Negro child constantly tripping on acid, it's just boring. Like, a tune with this many crazy themes and wild scenarios shouldn't be this much of a fucking bore. Every other adventure just executed in the most bland way possible. Every generic trope somehow made even more boring and predictable. Every other conversation between plot essential characters is a fight to get through. Like, even when things are supposed to be ramping up, it's excruciating. Now, people, I saw Oppenheimer in theaters 3 times. Enough to know that it's pronounced Oppenheimer. So don't you try to at me with like fucking brain-rotted attention span shit. Nah, man. Certain movies and a whole lot of anime prove that no matter how boring the idea, a proper execution can still make for a masterpiece. This effect just isn't present here. I don't like these characters enough to care about their backstories. I don't care enough about Melinda to give a damn that Blueface can't have her. The only MC with any real substance is Alfie, and even then they don't do much with him. His friends, family, backstory, purpose, motivations in any way. Shit, your guess is as good as mine. Like, it really just doesn't matter. They even do a plot where he's like older, and it's just, what are we doing right now? We want to see what happened, not what might happen in the potential future if the heroes don't. Man, just fuck out of here. Tartakovsky is the same man that had us falling in love with a caveman and a mini T-Rex who never spoke a single word over 2 seasons. Yet a handful of Brits that never shut the fuck up can all die permanently, and who deadass would care? Alright, time for a final verdict. Unicorn Warriors Eternal has decent animation and an initial premise that would appear captivating at first glance, but it saddens me to say it does not deliver on much of anything. The bland characters and their passionless adventures honestly make me feel like just watching this tune would just be a waste of time. This is by far Tartakovsky's worst yet, and I fully believe it will be his only bad work, but believe me when I say your time would be spent watching literally anything else. Like, this tune at best gets a D+ from the Deadman. Alright guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. We're being a little bit too positive around here, you know what I'm saying? A little too chummy, too much positivity. Had to remind y'all that I don't just goo and ga over every single cartoon I watch. Like, sometimes a lot of the ones I wish I hadn't watched that. There's a good handful of them. I'll make an entire series called like what not to watch, or I hate it when YouTubers title videos like I did blank so you don't have to. Like, I played Sonic Forces so you don't have to. I hate shit like that. But when it comes to this, I might do something similar. Just trust me, don't watch this. And I've done a handful of tunes I hate on this channel. You all know Uncle Grandpa, Secret Mount Ford Awesome, Problem Solvers, fucking Mr. Men Show, fucking Villainous. But this one, I just hate. It's one thing for it to be bad, but I just hate ruined potential. I can't stand fucked up potential. I'm rambling. All right, thank y'all for watching. King of the Dead signing off. Till next time.